Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Weekly Dose of Wellness. If you're new here, thank you for joining me. I'm Amber Stewart, Jenny Jaguar, stress alchemist, body goals builder, and the owner of the Stew Project, where I help individuals maximize their living potential by simply taking an emphasis on wellness. For over a decade, I trained clients in the gym, but I discovered that many weren't reaching their goals, not due to a lack of effort, but because they were trying to sweat out their life problems instead of solving them. That's why I created my 4-step stress alchemy framework, and now I coach others on how to do the same in order to shift from survival mode to full alignment. Today we are talking about something very real but often overlooked, and that is what to do when your personal growth starts to make other people uncomfortable, whether it's at work, in friendships, or even your closest relationships. Growth can stir up strange energy, and sometimes you'll find yourself the target of emotional triangulation. Now let's talk about how to protect your peace and rise anyway. All right, first, let's define what I mean by personal expansion. That can look like taking better care of your body or mental health, finally setting boundaries with people who are used to you always saying yes, launching that side hustle, or being recognized for your talents and hard work. And here's the thing, your expansion challenges the status quo, because when you grow, you shine brighter, and sometimes that light makes other people's shadows more visible, and that's when the energy shifts. Psychologically, when people witness your growth, it can subconsciously highlight the areas where they feel stuck or stagnant. That discomfort often gets projected as criticism, passive aggression, or distance, not because you did anything wrong, but because your evolution disrupts the dynamics they've grown comfortable with. Now, spiritually speaking, stepping into your power shifts your frequency. You start to vibrate higher, thinking differently, making different choices, operating from alignment. And that kind of shift doesn't always feel safe to those who are still operating in fear or control. They may not understand your glow, so they will try to dim your shine. For instance, you might notice that people who once supported you start to act a little off. Maybe passive-aggressive comments, subtle exclusion, or weird feedback you didn't ask for. It's not always malice. Often it's projection. It's the fear that your change means something about them, that they're being left behind, or that they'll have to look at parts of themselves that they've been avoiding. You know, the stuff that you've been doing to grow. And this is exactly where emotional triangulation sneaks in, because instead of addressing that discomfort head on, people sometimes pull others into their unresolved feelings, and you become the target. So let's talk about emotional triangulation, because this is how a lot of sabotage happens under the radar. Emotional triangulation is when someone avoids addressing their issue with you directly and instead recruits someone else into the mix, usually by complaining about you or framing you negatively. This shows up in workplaces as gossip, concerned suggestions to others about your behavior, or competing over recognition by subtly undermining your credibility. In friend groups, it can be seen as someone venting to everyone but you, or planting seeds of doubt in others about your attention. In family dynamics, this is when you're scapegoated for being too different or not falling in line with the family narrative. In romantic relationships, this can be seen as emotional games that pit one person against the other. Now, this tactic is especially tricky because on the surface, everything might look fine. People smile to your face, the group chat is still active, but energetically, you feel it. You sense the shift and maybe possibly even feel isolated. And that misalignment creates confusion because your nervous system is picking up on something your mind can't quite name. But now you can. And it's not you, it's the pattern, and the pattern can be broken. So when this happens, it's tempting to shrink, second guess, or play small to avoid rocking the boat. But your growth isn't the problem, and shrinking won't save you. Instead, stay in your integrity. Be professional, calm, and focused. Let your consistency speak for itself. Don't argue with distortion. You don't owe anyone access to your peace just because they feel entitled to your energy. Next, keep a log. This isn't about obsessing, it's about clarity. If things escalate, you'll have facts instead of feelings. Also, reaffirm your purpose. You're not crazy, you're not too much, you're just expanding. You're making room for the next version of yourself. And sometimes that requires you to push some people out. And if you need a mantra for moments like this, try this one. Their discomfort is not my burden. I rise because I am meant to shine. Now, this brings us to something that is often overlooked but critical for navigating this kind of spiritual warfare. And yes, I said warfare because sometimes that's what it is. And this is when I talk about wellness as a spiritual protection tool. Because wellness can be more than just self-care. It can also be self-defense. Not in an aggressive way, but in a deeply protective, sacred way. Now, exercise grounds your energy. It helps you metabolize stress and literally move stagnant or toxic energy out of your system. It sharpens your intuition so you can tell when something's off before it escalates. Nutrition clears brain fog and stabilizes your mood. A nourished body doesn't spiral into anxious loops when people are acting weird. It keeps you rooted and grounded. Now, hydration and rest are energetic hygiene. A rested, well-fed nervous system can discern manipulation and deflect drama without you having to match anyone's chaos. And this is the core reason why I created tools like my Overwhelmed Survival Guide, my Nutrition Reset Cleanses, and the Stress Alchemy Framework, because real protection starts from within. Your nervous system is your front line, and you must learn to strengthen it. So here's the truth. Not everyone is meant to rise with you, and that's okay. But your peace, your purpose, and your wellness, that's non-negotiable. So before we go, let's do a quick card pull from my Mind Info Oracle deck for some spiritual encouragement as you continue to elevate and protect your light. Oh, okay. So, first card we have out. Let me get this out the way. All right, so first card we have out is Miracles. And it says you're being asked to pay extra close attention to all the big and small miracles that have already occurred in your life, and also to those that are currently occurring and are still to come. Miracles surround you, so be on the lookout for them. And I know when we are subject to emotional triangulation or people trying to dim our light, we tend to focus only on the negative aspects, the things that makes us want to shrink in. So this is why it's important for us to be aware of the miracles that surround us. Now, the next card that came out is Abundance. And it says you're being asked to open to abundance, to believe that you're deserving of it, and to believe that it will flow to you. This is the first important step towards receiving it. Breathe deeply and trust that it's on the way. Because once again, when people are projecting their insecurities and their fears on you and trying to make you out to be the problem, that may not only want you to shrink, but also make you second guess yourself to seem like, am I not worthy for the goodness that is coming to me? Because oftentimes people will see the blessings that are headed your way before you even realize it. Your head can be down, focused on your work, focused on elevating, focused on being the best that you can possibly be, and they see what's manifesting. They see the blessings coming. But if you allow their projections to keep you from the abundance, then you will stay stuck and on their level the entire time. Now, the next card you have is ask for help. And this says you're being asked to request help from another. You don't need to deal with the issue alone. There are many people who want to help you, but it's up to you to bravely ask for their support. It's a sign of strength to reach out. Do that today. So that can be either to confide in a spiritual counselor, somebody that you trust, and even this could also mean that you need to download one of the resources that I'm offering. It is Mental Health Awareness Month. I do have my 28-day burnout recovery half off until the end of May. And then there's also my Overwhelmed Survival Guide. And also you can just reach out in the comments and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions or offer and provide support wherever needed or however needed. Okay? And then the last card at the bottom of the deck is comfort. And this says, how can you bring more comfort into your life? You can increase your comfort through tangible things such as soft clothes and food, and intangible things such as thinking loving thoughts about yourself and inviting peace into your heart. And so oftentimes when people project their insecurities and their fears over you, you often lose that sense of discomfort and your nervous system becomes dysregulated. So it's important to learn to stay in that mode of comfort in order to keep the abundance and blessings flowing to you. All right, so that's what I have for the card pull today. If today's message spoke to you, I invite you to either download the Overwhelmed Survival Guide for instant relief and grounding tips, check out my mini Stress Alchemy course if you want to start protecting your energy on a deeper level. And you can find all the links and details in the description box below. Now, until next time, keep growing, keep glowing, and protect your light. I hope this helps, and I will see you next week.